Across the nation, domestic violence is an issue faced by both men and women. Here in Washington, D.C., according to the D.C. Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence, which means that there will be about 75,000 women who are victims. You will easily find this information while researching about domestic violence. Most information presented is all about women and children. From ads to statistics, women as victims are broadcasted. But what about the men? 1 in 4 men are victims in the United States of America. 15% of victims of domestic abuse are men in D.C. Domestic abuse is defined by the United States Department of Justice as physical, sexual, economic, and psychological abuse. It also states that intimate partner violence is primarily a crime against women, which presents the question, are men as victims something to take seriously?
Since the police will not listen to them, they'll think it's a joke. They'll wonder why a man can allow somebody else, particularly a woman, to abuse him. He'll feel emasculated. He'll feel that no one will take him seriously, which is actually what happens.
Even though 85% of women are victimized, one cannot ignore the fact that women can be the abusers. There's a social stigma on men that are solely the abusers and rarely the victims, which makes it more difficult to speak on their experiences. A norm is also placed in society that when a woman abuses a man, he probably deserved it, versus when a man abuses a woman, it is unacceptable. Let's use Solange and Ray Rice as an example. When videos surfaced of Solange attacking Jay-Z, many jokes were made and Jay-Z was to blame for the incident. Whereas when news was released about Ray Rice hitting his then fiancée, he was immediately reprimanded. Both situations were different in damage, but the victims were abused nonetheless.
I feel like there is a double standard. Like when men are the victims of domestic violence relationships, there it's more looked at as like a joke or it's like comedy to some people. They don't feel like it's as serious as if a man beats a woman, but at the end of the day, it's still assault, it's still violence, and it needs to be addressed.
With the definition of domestic violence, it appears that when a woman abuses a man, it should be the same thing as a man abusing a woman, but apparently that is not the case. Abuse should be taken seriously regardless of gender, and hopefully with men continuously sharing their experiences, it will alleviate the double standards of domestic violence.